part of this event when I have to invite once again Her Excellency President Osmani to join us on stage, because she's going to give medals, presidential medals, to the Afghanistan group. Please, Ms. President.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, Madam President, Speaker of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, once again, most importantly, the remarkable women of Afghanistan. Today we have also gathered in profound recognition of the extraordinary courage and resilience exhibited by the women of Afghanistan. In the face of adversity and uncertainty, you have stood as a beacon of hope, embodying the unwavering strength and spirit of your nation. The journey you have embarked upon has not been without its challenges. You have faced obstacles that many could scarcely imagine, navigating through turbulent times with grace and determination. Yet through it all, you have remained steadfast in your commitment to building a brighter future for yourselves, your families, and your country. Today, as I have the honor to bestow upon you the well-deserved Presidential Medal, we honor not only your individual acts of bravery, but also the collective strength of women across Afghanistan. Your courage serves as an inspiration to us all, reminding us of the power that lies within each and every one of us to effect positive change, even in the most challenging circumstances. In the face of adversity, you have chosen courage over fear, hope over despair, and resilience over resignation. You have demonstrated to the world the indomitable spirit of the Afghan people, and for that we are eternally grateful. As we look towards the future, let us continue to stand together in solidarity, united in our shared vision of a peaceful and prosperous Afghanistan, where gender equality is upheld and protected. To the women of Afghanistan, I salute your courage, your strength, and resilience, which are all an inspiration to us. May you continue to shine brightly, illuminating the path towards brighter and more hopeful tomorrow for generations to come. I got acquainted with the plight of the women of Afghanistan as a very young woman through the books of Khaled Hosseini. So let me conclude with his words. The mountains might crumble, the rivers might dry up, but you are a woman, and you will stand, you will endure. The women of Afghanistan have not only endured, but they are leading the fight for freedom, freedom for all. In this fight, the people of Kosovo will always stand with you. I invite you to the stage to receive the Presidential Medal for Courage.
Presidents, Excellencies, friends, and colleagues, on behalf of women of Afghanistan, those women whose rights, freedom, and livelihood are brought to a halt by the Taliban since August 2021, I want to thank the Republic of Kosovo for recognizing the struggle, agency, and resilience of Afghan women, especially those women who put their lives on the line to fight for human rights. I am delighted to see two of these women, Arifa Fatimi and Medina Darwazi, are here to accept the award on behalf of Afghan women. I'm standing in front of you as a journalist whose job is to tell the truth, and truth is rarely convenient, especially in our time where war and destruction are ravaging the world, and women and children are the ones that paying the most. Today, an estimated 20 million women and girls are deprived of their right to education, work, travel, and even the freedom to choose their own clothes. A delegation of Afghan women who were invited to this forum from Afghanistan are not here today because the Taliban did not allow them to travel without a mahram or a male chaperone. In the Taliban worldview, women are not autonomous beings. They can only exist if they have a man in their lives. The Taliban have dismantled all systems of support for women. Violence against women, particularly gender-based violence, have increased, and many women decide to take their own lives than to live under the Taliban regime. Suffering is universal, and according to the recent UN statistics, 1 in 3 citizens don't know where their next meal will come from. At the root of this crisis is the Taliban and their policy of gender apartheid. The Taliban, an organization of fanatic mullahs who claim to rule the country in the name of God, have no respect for human rights and dignity. They are driven by their animosity and hatred of women. Yet, women of Afghanistan are still resisting, raising their voices, but they need your support, your solidarity. Let me be clear about what is at stake. As long as the Taliban are in power, there remains no hope for human rights, for security, for freedom, for the women and the people of Afghanistan. Thank you so much for your attention.
So we heard the speech from Editor-in-Chief of Zan Times, Ms. Zehra Nader, and we invite now to join us on stage Ms. Rina Amiri, which is U.S. Special Envoy for Afghan Women, Girls, and Human Rights. Please.
Hello, everyone. It's a distinct honor and pleasure being here today with you at the Women, Peace and Security Forum. And I have to say, President Osmani, I am more than grateful to you for using this forum to honor Afghan women and men. Afghan women and men, we saw in the last 2 decades, were at the forefront of the Women, Peace and Security implementation and agenda. And in fact, I would say it's been longer than 20 years. It's been over 100 years that Afghan women have been leading their own struggle for their rights. We just happened to witness it in the last 20 years. They were at the top echelons of government. They were journalists, judges, lawyers. They were in the formal economy and informal economy. They had the largest representation of parliament in the region, and they secured that by negotiating for their own rights. And overnight, that was taken away by the Taliban. Imagine, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the roles that you have, the opportunities that you assume that your daughters will have, and overnight that's gone. You as ministers, as presidents, have to put down your title, your identity, and sit home. You have to look at your daughters and their aspirations and hopes and see that come to a close. And you see that it destroys your country. What do you do? What do you do in the face of an oppression that is so systematic and extreme that it's not only going to target you, but it's going to target your families? It will seek to have the men in your family as enforcers of these extreme decrees. That's what's happening in Afghanistan. But the courageous women and girls of Afghanistan have stood up and protested without anything but their voice and their courage. And some courageous men have stood with them. They have done this in spite of intimidation, threats, harassment, violence to themselves and their families. And when I ask them where, I spend a lot of time talking to Afghans inside the country, and I say, where do you get this courage? And they say, we're not courageous. There's just something more important than courage for us, and that is the freedom for our rights and the freedom to be able to move our country forward. Their struggle is our struggle. It's our struggle, our collective struggle, because it is a moral imperative, it is a normative imperative, it is a strategic imperative. A country that is stripped of its women and girls is a radicalized country. It is an economic issue and it is a security issue. Afghanistan, we have seen for over 4 decades, the challenges in Afghanistan don't just remain in Afghanistan. They bleed out into the region and globally. So when I say that it is in our strategic interest to stand behind women and girls, I say that because we have witnessed it in Afghanistan time and again. What this means is, exactly as Ambassador Verveer noted, this cannot be normalized. This should not be accepted. Every country in the world needs to use its platform, its diplomatic power to stand up and say this is not acceptable, to not allow the Taliban to normalize this. We need to use every resource at our disposal to stand with the women and girls of Afghanistan. We have talked this morning about the back roll, the backsliding of women's rights everywhere. And I can tell you, if the situation in Afghanistan is normalized, women's rights will not just be in peril there, it will be in peril everywhere. So we stand with you, we honor you, we commend you. You are championing not just your own rights, but our rights collectively. Thank you very much.